Hello there. What's going on, guys? We've got Legion news, and this is very exciting. I actually thought that these Jyn Erso and the Rebel Pathfinders were going to be announced this Friday because there was some rumors going around about some emails that were sent to retailers that had some of this imagery, and it didn't get announced. So I was wondering, that's strange. I didn't make a video about it yet because I didn't want to comment on speculation or if it wasn't supposed to be out yet, but apparently it just must have been a slight hiccup because here it is. And the good thing about this is we've got some actual art. We've got the actual sculpts. We can see more than just what was in that preview email. And this looks kind of cool, especially for you Hoth lovers out there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Before I go too much further, though, I do want to say there is a new huge giveaway going on right now for a Super Star Destroyer for Star Wars Armada. If you haven't already entered that, all you have to do to enter is become a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. You probably also want to click that bell for alerts so you can be notified when new content comes out. We'll probably be announcing this on or around the 21st of December, right before Christmas. So hopefully it'll be a nice holiday surprise for one of you lucky subscribers. And also, I invite you to subscribe anyway for the heck of it because I try to cover all of these games as soon as I can with the latest and greatest. And hopefully it's something that you're up for. Let's go ahead and dive into what they have shown us today for this. And am I the only one surprised that Jyn Erso is a commander? Because I would have thought Cassian Andor, or even General Draven. I guess they wanted to go for what's recognizable for a slightly, because she seems like she would just be more suited to the operative role. And it could be one of those deals where, all right, well, Chewbacca is, the last announced Rebel operative, and there would have been maybe two operatives too close together. I can see that, perhaps. I just like the idea of Jyn as an operative more. But, well, she did kind of take charge at the Battle of Scarif, so, it is what it is. The Rebel Pathfinders, these guys look kind of cool too. But let's look at Jyn first. So first off, cool, very cool sculpt. I love that they're doing these now so you get like a really good detail of the entire 3D render. Now this is not the actual sculpt. This is their rendering, and this is, so the sculpt probably will look close to this good. But I like that she's got the tonfa and she's just like, she's ready. And it reminds me of the Riot Control baton too. Traitor! And I love that thing, by the way. Really expensive, but super, super cool. All right, so Jyn. Let's look at her. She is looking real nice. They have a painted one. You do kind of suffer a little bit from that whole human face thing. Honestly, the sculpts look better when it's like a helmeted face. Those are just so much easier to do than all the contours of the face. But she doesn't look bad. It is what it is. She looks like she's got some interesting new cards and abilities, and we're going to take a look at her. Let's zoom in a little bit. Boom! There it is. All right. Let's take a look at this. So I'm going to start with her actual unit card. She looks like she's about 130 points. She's got, 4 different upgrades. She's got a new little pistol upgrade at the bottom there, which we can see this A100 pistol config, it looks like. And you're probably thinking, wait, that pistol looks like it costs 0. So why not just give it to her card? We'll come back to that. Let's look at her whole thing, because she just has the... let's start with her health. She got 6 health, 3 courage, so she's very, very brave. White defense die that all the rebels have, so that's kind of... But she's got all the surges, too. She's got surge to crit and surge for defense, which is great. Speed 2 is pretty standard, especially for somebody who's not wearing heavy armor. I can understand that. Speed 2 makes sense. 4 black dice for her tonfa, and her tonfa is suppressive. That's kind of cool. You don't see melee attacks with suppressive very often, so I kind of like that. We'll look at her abilities is going to be interesting because she has some new ones here. So it looks like, and it's kind of hard to read these, so some of the wording might be slightly off because it's, I had to zoom in pretty far. But she looks like she has the ability to do an action called Quick Thinking or Quick Thinker. Gain 1 token. Gain an aim token and a dodge token. It looks like. So that's what it looks like. So okay, not bad. Gain an aim and a dodge. Not bad. Better than just taking... And since that's a separate action from a dodge, in theory, you could take dodge and then have your second action be quick thinking, right? I mean, so there's nothing to stop you from doing that. So you can have a bunch of dodge tokens if you wanted to. Although, she seems like Do I really want to just sit there and dodge, or do I want to issue orders? You know, she's got damage sense 4. This one might be a little tougher to read. So, you know, you may choose not to remove suppression tokens while defending against a ranged attack. Roll 1 extra defense die for each suppression token you have, adding up to 4 extra dice. So that's the number 4. So it's basically suppression for Jyn is like really, really good, right? I mean, not that good, because if you get 6, you're going to panic and run away. But danger sense is like, wow, if you suppressed me, I'm just going to be like totally like spider sense. She's basically Spider-Man. And yeah, thumbs up. Leave that in the comments if you think that Jyn is Spider-Man. That could be your entry. Or let's get a whole spider Jyn. Right? Or what's the best hashtag you can think of for Spider Jyn? Or am I wrong? Is it not Spider Jyn at all? Is it Jyn Erso, perhaps? Or Jyn Parker? I don't know. I'm getting off topic. Let's get back on the topic. Infiltrate. Infiltrate. This was talked about in the article. You may deploy anywhere beyond range 3 of all enemy units. You may deploy anywhere. How cool is that? Just drop wherever you want. That's going to really change a lot of interesting stuff. Specifically, certain objectives where you thought, oh man, I'm never going to be able to get somebody in range of that. Or, oh, I need to, you know, grab those supplies and run away with them. Well, now I can just deploy right there on the supplies, you know, which is really nuts. And this is also going to help. This is going to, I think, potentially change the way, like, people are bidding a lot of like low initiative in order to, you know, go first, be that blue player, get to pick their, you know, make sure that they can get the right objective that they want and all of that. But now all of a sudden you may be bidding not only for that, but to try to deploy first. Because if you have Jyn and I have Jyn, right? Whoever deploys first, I drop Jyn right in the middle of the map. All of a sudden, boom, now you have to deploy beyond range of enemy units. Also, if I'm deploying first, I could, in theory, deploy in your defense, in your deployment zone, if you don't have anybody there yet within range 3. So I could deploy in your deployment zone, and I'm literally infiltrating. Now, granted, I don't think that's going to be a good idea, because then maybe you're going to just deploy all your guys and be like, okay, cool, Jyn's right here. We're going to kill her first turn. I'm going to deploy Darth Vader right next to Jyn, and I'm going to play his 1 pip. You know, so might not be the best idea to deploy in your opponent's deployment zone. I think in theory you'll probably want to deploy like for an objective, or maybe in a very good defensible position that's in the middle of the battlefield. But very cool. She got nimble. We've seen that already. The dodge, and you get another dodge. And sharpshooter 1, you know, okay, but sharpshooter with no ranged weapon. Well, let's go ahead and look at that A100 pistol config. Looks like it's Jyn Erso only, range 1 to 2, 2 red and a white, so pretty good weapon, but it's only at range 1 to 2, so she wants to be up close. Right? She's got none of this long range stuff, and I think everything about Jyn here with Infiltrate is designed to get her up close. She's got no problem charging you on the battlefield, since she's going to get extra dice for suppression. You know, she's got the defensive surge, sure thing. White defense dice, so she's still killable, but yeah, the white dice will betray you. I don't care how many you add. I'm going to kill you one way or another eventually. But danger sense is pretty cool. I like that keyword. That's going to be strong. That's probably why she's so expensive too. She's a little on the expensive side, especially since she'll be coming out after we've got generic commanders. You're really going to have to think twice about, like, how bad do I really want this character to not be a generic commander? And one of those things is also the command cards. Before I talk about the command card, though, we've got to see. Do you see that little guy with his arms crossed behind that A100 pistol? That's Krennic, isn't it? It looks like Krennic. Some of you guys have some of you URL searchers have seen some interesting things related to that I'm not going to comment about yet, because it's not been released. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting Jyn, I think it stands to reason we're probably going to get Krennic, right? Maybe next week, I don't know, and they're going to announce that. Maybe we'll have to wait a month. But that's kind of, and that's what they've been doing, right? You get one commander and you get cards for both. Veers had cards with Leia art on them. You know, it's just the way it works. So it looks like Krennic is probably coming also. But this A100, it's got Pierce, and it has a thing called Reconfigure. When you activate, you may flip this card. I don't know if that's activate or something, but yeah. But basically, or something like that. Basically, you may flip this card. You can make out flip this card. So, and that's exactly why it's not just written on her card. It's because it's a two different things. So basically, and it says pistol config. So it's probably some other weapon on the other side. Like maybe I turned it into a pistol, but now I turned it into nunchucks. Maybe it's nunchucks. Thumbs up if you think it's nunchucks on the other side. It's not. I'm sure it's not nunchucks. We also get a look at her command card, her 1-pip, which looks like it's rebellious, and that's a great scene from her bashing some stormtrooper heads on on Jedha. Wait, or is it? No, that's definitely Jedha. That's definitely Jedha. So we're going to try and make this out. Might make some mistakes here, but it looks like Jyn Erso gains charge. And once per round, when an enemy unit at range 1 to 2 and is in line of sight of Jyn Erso activates, before it performs its rally step, Jyn Erso may gain 1 suppression token and perform an attack against a unit or perform a free move action. So, yeah, so she is going to basically get a free attack or move when she is, you know, that's pretty nasty. So she can basically keep moving and attacking? Or is that nasty? So, you know, again, the 1-pips are usually pretty offensive, and that can have her basically going in there and just popping people. Since she gains charge too, so maybe she doesn't want to do the attack. Maybe she just wants to move and charge. That's why charge is important. And she's got 4 dice with her charge and suppressive, so that's not half bad. Not half bad. All right, let's go ahead and we got some Pathfinders. We can look at the Pathfinders as well, and you are seeing some familiar faces, some familiar aliens. And before we look at them painted, you know, like this is a nice sculpt because like some of these guys look like they would be ideal for Hoth troopers. And this is why I said earlier at the beginning of the video, this might be good news for you Hoth players, because look at like the, you know, the goggles on the head there. That looks a lot like, you know, like that could be repainted to totally be Hoth themed. And I think that's a good idea anyway, because I'm going to be honest with you, like there's a lot of similar, despite the aliens are super cool. They're my favorite of these. But a lot of the Rebel infantry look like they're all not the same, but like just a little too similar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just me though. That's just my personal thing. Like I love the fleet troopers. The fleet troopers are iconic, but everybody else, like I was actually hoping we would get like Rebel pilots on the ground, like a whole squad of Rebel pilots, you know, doing the Charlie's Angels thing, and you know, in their flight gear, you know, and I wanted to see that because that would be more recognizable, more iconic on the ground. I mean, maybe they'll still do that, but yeah, I want to see like a whole group of pilots like that have landed and now they're storming the beach, you know. Not the beach, but yeah, you could be in the beach with your pilot gear. So what? Bodhi Rook did it, right? He was on the beach with his pilot. All right, let's look at the Rebel Pathfinders. Here they are painted up again in that whole green kind of Vietnam era stuff. It's cool. It's cool. It's just it's so similar to like the paint scheme and the design that you would have on Endor. I wonder if at a certain point between these guys and your other special forces, if you're not going to just get confused on who's who. You know, I don't know. The Wookiees, now those guys are distinct. These guys, you know, might blend in a little bit, which is okay, I guess. I want stuff to stand out more. That's my personal preference. Everybody's allowed to have their own preference. Let's zoom in a little more on some of these lovely little dudes and aliens and folks. So, all right, so we've got the Rebel Pathfinder. We're going to look at I zoomed in quite a bit here. We'll look at their unit card. Now, they've got a lot of upgrade ability. They have that same little new pistol upgrade. So it's basically like a weapon upgrade. Different than the hardpoint upgrade, it seems. And so, you know, and it looks like it's like serving the same general purpose. So, the Rebel Pathfinders, 60 points. They have Danger Sense 3. So, the same thing that Jyn had. But a different capacity. They can only roll up a maximum of 3 extra dice. So pretty cool. They'll be a tough little special forces unit to kill if they're getting extra dice for suppression. They have Dauntless. What is this? After your rally, if you are suppressed but more not panicked, yes, not. You may gain a suppression token to perform a free move action. So that is letting them even take more use of that. So that's cool. So they can move for free? Like that. That's always good. Especially at speed 2, too. So their speed 2, this is great. And they have Infiltrate. So Infiltrate is, you know, again, here you have a whole bunch of stuff. So Jyn doesn't have to face Jyn. Jyn could be facing other Rebel Pathfinders, and whoever's deploying first is really going to kind of have the potential to claim control of the middle. Because beyond range 3 of all enemy units is significant. So we've got a weapon up here. It's got that reconfigure ability also, and it's range 1 to 2, and it's got a red die. It looks like there's some other upgrades we can add. The heavy weapons guys that have range 1 to 4 attacks as well, and that's cool. One of them has leader, one of them has ion. A grenade here looks like fragmentation grenade perhaps. It looks like we're getting duck and cover. We're getting some other things like that, but let's look at the Rebel Pathfinders. They're 1 health, 2 courage, similar to Special Forces, range 1 to 3, and they're going to roll 2 white dice, so that's not bad. Think of your fleet troopers that roll 2, but they're maxed at range 2, right? Here you're rolling 2 white dice at range 3. That's not half bad. These guys might be pretty darn strong. 60 points. That's a little expensive for 4 dudes, and you can't add the extra personnel, so you can't make it 5 dudes, and then add a heavy weapons guy to make it 6. So you're going to cap out at 5 dudes if you add the heavy weapons guy, and we don't know what those guys are going to cost, or those aliens are going to cost, but that's not bad. And they have the offensive and defensive surge. It's not surge to crit, but the fact that it's a surge makes those white dice just a little bit better, because you're going to be rolling a lot of white dice, and if you played with fleet troopers at all, you know that those white dice can be pretty nasty. Now, if you've got all, the interesting thing is, if you've got this weapon equipped, everybody, this reconfigure, this red die, everybody in the unit can use that. So if you're close range, maybe you don't want to roll a whole bunch of white dice. Maybe you want to roll that red die per. It would be 4 red dice. So what, if you're at range 2, do you want to roll 4 red dice, or do you want to roll 8 white dice? Me personally, I'm going with the white dice, but that's just me. I seem to have bad luck with red dice. A lot of blanks. I mean, offensive surge, it depends if you need to, I only need 1 more damage to kill this person. Okay, then maybe I'll go with the red dice. But white dice, for me, tends to do it just a little bit better. And we get some other looks at the sculpts. This is actually a real good paint job on Jyn. I love the outfit. I love the paint job. The face is not as good as the masks tend to look, but I think it doesn't look bad. I think it's an improvement compared to some of the other human face paint jobs we've seen before. And then we have these guys. These guys look great. They look great. I love the aliens. I love it. Absolutely love it. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. Are you excited about this? Are you still playing Legion? Are you excited about these new units? I've been, honestly, I want to be playing more. I just had a bat rep up the other day, so I got a battle in, trying different camera angles and stuff, so I'm going to be trying to get more of those. So Legion it's awesome, and we're officially entering the Rogue One era, so that's exciting too. What are you looking forward to seeing in the future for Star Wars Legion? Let me know down in the comments below. I want to give you guys a big shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are fantastic. I want to also thank all of you guys who have subscribed and entered for these contests. Thanksgiving is coming up, so I am really hoping that you guys all have something to be thankful for. I had done a Thanksgiving video as well, talking about being thankful for a lot of tabletop specific reasons, but there's a lot more than that as well. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'm thankful for you guys, and have a great day.